What is up, fellow Bud Ballers? Before we jump into the Week 12 review, I want to go over something real quick. This is not a knock on anybody. This is simply just a little bit of a reminder to, most of the league is doing a decent job setting their lineups, but there's something in addition to that that everyone should be doing, and that's having a complete roster. And what I mean by that is filling out every spot that's available to you on your roster. We've had a couple teams, some mostly not in the playoffs right now, that are not fielding full rosters. And what that means is they've probably added people to their IR, or people on their active team have gone to IR and they don't have any more IR spots, so people have been dropped. I think I counted 2 of the teams didn't have complete rosters. One team was 3 full players shy of a full roster. And that team happened to be playing Sawyer this week and actually could have beaten Sawyer this week had they had they had a full roster. So you have 4 total bench spots. There's actually some decent players out on the waiver wire that help in a multitude of categories. So if you feel like having a full roster and competing like a standard manager should, go ahead and make some ads and fill out that roster and see what you might win a couple games. Who knows? You could find yourself in the playoffs. Second thing, everyone but one team this week was setting their lineup. Had to do that for one person. Didn't enjoy doing that. Please set your lineups. Again, there's that tab. If you're on a desktop, in the top right corner, set my active lineup. It'll do it for you. Just for the love of fucking God, it takes less than 30 seconds to set an active lineup. I don't want to keep doing this. But a PSA, if we keep having these roster things and keep having incomplete lineups, we're probably going to have to start finding some new managers for the league. I like the league as it is. I wish it were a little more competitive. So that's my piece there. Jumping into the Week 12 review, I whooped up on Chris. Tom had an easy time versus Nick. John and Tim had the only good quality matchup versus managers, I would say. 2 playoff teams competing, and John had a huge player advantage over Tim and won pretty easily. Sawyer's win versus Jackson, it says 8-3, but this easily could have been swung in Jackson's favor had he had a full lineup. And then Drew and Alec actually had a really close matchup. Drew had very close matchups with everyone this week. He would have been 4-4-1, so kind of middling overall, but this was actually probably the closest matchup of the week besides Jackson and Sawyer. On to Chris and myself. I had the highest free throw percentage and most threes in the league this week, won by over 200 points, almost 40 rebound difference, over 30 assist difference. Chris had the lead in the stock categories, beating me in steals. We tied in blocks. Pretty low double-double week for both of us this week, but getting that triple-double myself from Joel Embiid. Pretty easy win. I had 54 players compared to Chris's 48. Embiid's going to be my MVP this week. 523 from the field, 93 points, 32 rebounds, 21 assists, 2 double-doubles, and a triple-double. I would have been 5-3-1 this week. Only would have lost to John, Alec, and Sawyer, and would have tied Drew. Currently all by myself in first place, record of 10-1-1 on a 4-game win streak. Game and a half above Sawyer, I believe, in 2 games up on John and Tim. Things are going to get a little harder for me the next 2 weeks. I play Tim this week and Sawyer the following week, so we'll actually be testing my team a little bit. But things are looking good on my side of things. Meanwhile, Chris, when Russell Westbrook isn't cooking, ain't nothing being served at Chris's family or team dinners. Chris would have been 2-7, only would have beaten Nick and Jackson, record of 2-10-0, tied for 8th with Drew and Nick, but sitting in 8th, 3-game losing streak for Chris. On to Nick and Tom. Tom had the highs in both stock categories this week, 61 steals, 53 blocks. I believe he was only 7 or so off of the overall block record, so Tom's team doing really good things there. They were only separated by 1 3-pointer, 6 assists, and 2 double-doubles, but everything else was pretty handily in Tom's favor. Pretty easy win. Kevin Durant, the MVP, 500 from the field, 122 points, 24 rebounds, 26 assists. Kevin Durant currently leading in points across the league. Next matchup, John and Tim. This one looked pretty close through the first half of the week, but John's team just kind of pulled away. Almost 160-point difference, only separated by 1-3. But John having over 130 more rebounds more than Tim, over 70 or 60 more assists. John winning both stat categories, 30 more turnover difference in Tim's favor, but John 15 double-doubles to 8. Pretty easy win there. Nurk Alert, the big reason why. 63 points, 53 rebounds, 4 straight double-doubles, 7 steals. Pretty easy for John there. Would have been 9-0. Welcome to the fucking show. 8-3-1 record, tied with Tim, but sitting in third, 2-game win streak for John. Meanwhile, Tim slides from second down to fourth. Only would have been 3-5. Wins only coming versus Chris, Nick, and Jackson. 8-3-1 record and a 1-game slide for Tim. On to Jackson and Sawyer. Sawyer had 8 more players than Jackson. Probably due to the fact that Jackson didn't have a full roster, but easily could have flipped 3-pointers, assists, and steals, and could have won this matchup. But for some reason, has dropped people and not added more back to his roster. Sawyer had the highest field goal percentage this week with 503, and the most points this week with 832, 12 double-doubles, getting himself that W. Sawyer jumps up to second place, 8-1 this week, only would have lost to John. Record of 9-3-0, 2-game win streak for Sawyer. Meanwhile, Jackson only would have beaten Nick this week, record of 3-9-0, all by himself in 7th place, and a couple games out of that 6th playoff spot. 2-game losing streak for Jackson. Finally, on to Drew and Alec. This one was really tight. Drew had 3 triple-doubles, one from Jokic, one from Van Vliet, and one from, I believe, Jaylen Brown's first career triple-double. Drew took both of the percentage categories, blocks, turnovers, triple-doubles, but Alec just had a huge enough lead in a bunch of the categories, almost 30 more threes, over 200 more points, over 70 more rebounds, 70-ish more assists, and a handful more steals, and that's going to get the W done for Mr. Alec. MVP for him is going to be Kyle Kuzma. Kyle freaking Kuzma, 108 points scored, 56 rebounds, 3 double-doubles. I will also add that Alec had 13 more players go than Drew this week. Alec would have been 6-2-1, only would have lost to John and Sawyer, and would have tied Tom. 8-4 for Alec, all by himself in 5th place, 3-game winning streak. Meanwhile, Drew would have been 4-4-1, would have beaten Chris, Nick, Tim, and Jackson, and would have tied myself, record of 2-10-0, tied for 8th, but sitting in 9th. 5-game losing streak for Drew. Player of the week goes to, unfortunately, on a losing team, but Nikola Jokic, 553 from the field, 108 points scored, 65 rebounds, 27 assists, 4 double-doubles, and a triple-double. Monster freaking line. He is also the best average player of the week, 27 points, 16.3 rebounds, 6.8 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.0 blocks, and 1.0 double-doubles. I'd have to say my favorite player of the week, though, is probably Fred VanVleet. He's also on Drew's team. 6.0 average threes a game, 30.3 points, 4.8 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 2.0 steals, and 1 triple-double. Balled the fuck out. This is also our 3-month review, so I'll quickly go over these. Let's do the top 3 in each category. So this is top 3 players in each counting category. For 3-pointers, we've got Steph, Buddy Hield, and Van Vliet. Points, we've got Durant, Trae Young, Steph Curry. Rebounds, we've got Gobert, Capella, Jokic. Assists are Chris Paul, Westbrook, and Trae Young. Steals are Marcus Smart, Chris Paul, and DeJounte Murray. Blocks are Miles Turner, Rudy Gobert, Jaren Jackson Jr. Turnovers, most are Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Trae Young. Double-doubles is Rudy Gobert, Jokic, Domantas Sabonis, and triple-doubles is Westbrook, Jokic, and Harden. I'm not going to go over the season total and average stats. You guys can look at that for yourself. Probably also not going to go over the stat categories totals. But feel free to look at those sheets, boys. And as always, have a full roster. Set your lineup. Make this competitive, or we'll do something about it. See ya.